Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 48 of another exciting episode of Fans in Motion. Josh, what do you do when it's falling apart and Andy was gone from the very start? Do you close your eyes and dream about him or think about him?
Oh,
Tell me,
Lord.
Josh. Talk to me.
Well, I do now because I miss Andy's opening.
Well, it's not bad. It was fun. I
uh,
wanted to say, came off a hard night of drinking Jack Daniels. This song goes with nothing what we're doing with this episode, but I thought it did, so we stuck with it.
so,
First time you
what
heard it, too.
what everybody is now realizing is Andy is very important to the podcast. but
Hey, it
yeah,
wasn't bad. I got the episode number in there. He don't ever say
I
that.
was just happy you got the right episode number, even though I'm not sure if it is or not.
Oh,
But
I looked it up.
all right. But yes, that is the lyrics to When You Close Your Eyes. But this week, we are diving into the vinyl collection and we are going to talk about the 45 release of Sentimental Street. Um, let's do it again. That's a record scratching because guess what? We're interrupting our own podcast
Yeah.
because we had some time at the end and we were kind of, you'll see where let's throw in some other singles. And Brent's like, hey, let's do Hearts Away or something. And then we did it and we realized, well, why don't we just make this whole episode the Seven Wishes singles, the 45s? So we're gonna go back to your regular scheduled program, and it's going to be Sentimental Street, us talking, but we're also going to throw in 4 in the morning
And
and
goodbye.
goodbye. So now back to these two yahoos yapping.
They don't know what they're talking about.
We don't know.
Why is that, Josh?
Well, Sentimental Street was one of the biggest Night Ranger hits out there. That and Sister Christian have probably the most releases around the world. So this is just a good one to hit and show you just how big Night Ranger was in 1985 and show you the different US pressings and show you the just the pressings from around the world. I mean, I've got stuff Europe and Africa, just all kinds of neat pressings, just something new and unique to look at. So we're going to dig deep into the world of Sentimental Street. And the thing I always liked about 45s, and I don't know if you was a big Kiss collector of 45s, but the thing I liked about collecting 45s of the bands I enjoyed, Night Ranger, Kiss, Van Halen, is the 45s, majority of the time, it's different artwork than you would ever see. So this one isn't as unique, but it's Night Ranger there with the the bomber outfits.
Yep.
And the back is the
Your
logo.
tattoo.
And yep, it's a different color than the one that's on the plane. So it's a different shading of where I think the one on the plane is white and
It's yellow. I'm looking at it right behind you right now.
yeah, all right. All right. So she's in a white gown and the yellow background to where this is pink and blue,
Yeah.
which is the one of my tattoo. But I got it off the tour book. So that's what always drew me to the 45s, especially the early ones of Night Ranger from Japan, because they use some unique photos I've never seen before. So stick around. I think you guys will enjoy it. Our last episode was ranking Midnight Madness with Eric Levy of Night Ranger. Let's talk a little bit, Brent, of how incorrect your list was.
I don't even remember what my list was,
Well,
technically.
neither do I, but I know it was incorrect.
Well, I know I started off with the hits is much and put them at the bottom because they're tunes I'm going to hear in concert. Doesn't mean I don't dislike them, but they're generally the songs I will skip if I put Midnight Madness in because I've heard them so many times. So I went ahead and gave love to the rest of the album.
Still wrong.
You know.
But yeah, if you guys,
that's your opinion, JJ.
If you haven't yet, go back, listen to it. It's fun hearing Eric's view of the songs, too. Again, an incorrect list as well, along with Andy's. So if you guys want to hear the correct list, go listen to the episode and write down what my list was. And we hope to get Eric back on and do. I mean, it's kind of hard to think of ideas and stuff, and but having back on to maybe rank another album or we'll figure something out. But Eric's been great to the page, and we've told him that, and he enjoys coming on, and it's always a good time. So, what do we got in Night Ranger news? Anything? You got anything, Brent? I got a couple things.
I'm going to let you... I don't want to misfire with it because I don't know what you're going to say.
Neither do I.
Well, as far as the conversation we had over the weekend about,
Well, we're going to save some of that for next week's episode.
Okay.
What we can tell you is Night Ranger's kicking in the gear for 2021.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you do have a show coming up in Houston the first weekend of May, I think May 8th.
I think I know I know a couple people are going to be there, but...
Yeah, there's going to be a few people there. I think I'm going to get my sea legs going and hop on an airplane and go to that show. So
yeah,
if you're going to be in the Houston area, going to the Night Ranger show, look me up. I shall be there.
He'll be the only one with the Tigers cap on.
You never know, man. There might be some other cool ass person there.
You got to get me an orange Houston Astros hat while you're there.
You know what? I used to like the Astros, but not since 2017. But I did like the Houston Astros. Remember had like the Met? I think it had the Astrodome and like the two baseballs, like the Atom. Yeah. I always liked that logo. But yeah, I'm going to go to the Houston show, and if you're down there, track me down and say hi, and we'll get a Fans in Motion group together, and we will take multiple shots of Jaeger or something fun and wholesome like that.
And if you do a list, Josh will tell you that's wrong.
Unless you copy my list. And then I will tell you that you are correct. So there is the Houston show. At the end of May, there are some shows in Iowa and South Dakota and stuff like that. I need to start making a list of these and putting it on the page. But
that's going to happen after the next episode.
All right. So then we've talked about the July 10th show in Wabash. They've got that's actually 3 shows on that weekend now. They are playing July 9th in Clear Lake, I think, Iowa, at the Surf Ballroom, and the Surf Ballroom is famous for, that was the venue that Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper played the night that they were killed in the plane wreck, the day the music died. So it's the same venue. They've kept it up, and it still kind of looks the same as it did back in the 50s. So my goal is, I've already got tickets for Wabash, Indiana. My goal is to make it to the Surf Ballroom because I've always wanted to go there, and not a better time to do it than to see Night Ranger. So I may do that and then go to Wabash, and then so it's Clear Lake, Iowa on the 9th, Wabash, Indiana on the 10th, on the 10th, and then the 11th is Wisconsin Dells on that Sunday. So those are some new dates. And
which one is Skid Row and Great White?
That is one of the ones at the end of May in either Iowa or South Dakota.
I had seen an advertisement for it, and it was initially going to be Vince Neil and Great White, I believe.
Yes. So, all right. Well, I don't know. I just
I had seen it.
And there's other stuff down the line, comments. We just unfortunately can't talk about it. So, just be prepared. Night Ranger 2021.
Nothing but good news coming.
Yep. Collection-wise, I don't know if I got anything too crazy this week, but I had the CD. I did not have the vinyl, and I decided to get the vinyl. The latest Revolution Saints record on vinyl. And for those that don't know, Revolution Saints is Dean Castronovo from Journey, Dead Daisies. Played with a lot of bands, Ozzy, Hardline, and it also includes Jack Blades of Night Ranger and Doug Aldrich of Whitesnake, Dead Daisies. Dean does most of the singing. I think Jack sings on one track. And on this record, there is a Jack Blades and Tommy Shaw song called Eyes of a Child that's on here as well. So they did an okay job with the vinyl. It is a gatefold.
Yeah, I saw the lyrics from the side. What color vinyl did they give you?
Well, I don't think it was colored. I'll get it out here. The colored vinyl is that I have coming is the reissue of the first album.
Yeah.
So this is the latest album that came out last year. The only thing is there's no photos of the band, even though I'm pretty sure there was photos in the CD booklet. But there is no photos here, but you do get the gatefold.
Not even on the sleeves inside?
There was nothing. There's no insert or anything.
Wow.
The gatefold is just, and on the back is just the song titles, and you do get the custom label, and this is just the black vinyl, 180 gram. So still a good release. So if you're a vinyl collector, something you may want to get if you're a Jack Blades fan. So that's what I got collecting wise. What do you have for the Fans in Motion page?
Fans in Motion, I'm kind of going cheap, folks, because we've had some electrical powers, because all of a sudden here in Cincinnati, it decided to be winter again on April 21st. We got almost 3 inches of snow last night. And so there's been some electrical issues going around, but we're up and kicking now. But I went ahead as soon as I had a half hour to prepare and get everything set up. So I'm just going to read some names and say what's going on with it. First off, John Haynes, contest with 15 prizes. Josh won a prize. He won a sticker, I believe.
I saw that I won a prize. I didn't go back and look at the sheet.
You won the Night Ranger sticker, I believe, the blue one.
Well, I'm going to have to get with John, tell him not to put me in those, but I did message him, tell him thanks, and I told him to just give it to me at the Houston show.
Yeah, I was joking with him because my daughter, I was showing her the post and all the names, and she's like, look at the Japanese fans. Those are... How's he going to read that? I'm like, he probably won't. And she's like looking. She's like, I see Andy's name. I see Josh. I see Bob Horton. I know him. And, there's some other names that she recognized locally that are on the page. And she went, you're not in there. I said, let me at him. I started typing. I'm like, my daughter really likes your Japanese writing, and she wants to know why I'm not on the list. And I started laughing. I'm like, I'm just playing with you. Don't put me on there,
But, John's been great to the page. He's sent me stuff that we've, had contests for and given away. So that's one good thing about the shows coming up, with Houston. Hopefully me and John get to run into each other and I can thank him in person.
He's a sweetheart of a guy.
Thanks, John, for doing that stuff.
Yeah, and his granddaughter did a great job too. I don't know her name though. I apologize. Want to welcome to the page Jim Kahn. The reason he's getting a shout out is because he found us on YouTube, which is backwards from how everybody else has found us. So I thought that was pretty cool and wanted to welcome you to the page. And we know you watch them, so thank you very much. We hope you enjoy it. And last but not least, Josh, you posted this, but we got to give a shout out to Patty Soares for her Barnaby Wild stuff that she has, because I don't think anybody else has anything out there that we've seen.
No, she had posted early in the page the picture of her autographs, which was like maybe, at the time there would be a local paper that would post the upcoming shows and a little blurb. She got that signed, and then she had the ticket. So she had posted that. And I think we had talked, and she had said she'd had photos, and then she had, it's been a few months ago, because that episode's been one we've talked about but never done. And she had scanned them and sent them to me. So I shared the majority of them. There's a few that I didn't.
Sure.
But yeah, it's the only live photos of Barnaby Wild that I know exist.
Now, who was in that band with him? I couldn't make out anybody. Do you know?
I
Insert Jeopardy music here.
I do. The one guy's name is Spike. I do remember that. Give me a second here.
But did any of these guys go on to be anybody in another band? Or?
I could not tell you that.
So I couldn't.
I can't say for sure, but Spike Orberg was one of the guys. I don't know who the singer was. And with the pictures, I don't know if David Sykes was there. He was at one time in Jeff's band at that time. And then there was a guy, Bob Giles. It's Gilles. Or Gills. I don't know.
I think you got it right the first time. Congrats on that.
But and I don't know if those guys were in there, but they were at one time in Jeff's post Night Ranger band. The lead singer, though, I don't know. I don't have his name. She may have. I don't.
Yeah,
know.
It'll probably be in that article.
Yeah.
I couldn't see everything. The only thing I can make out was on the fly. The show was July 22nd. I don't know what year it was.
I do know. I think that's the Spike played on some of Jeff's solo album, Lone Ranger. Maybe. I don't quote me on that.
It makes sense though.
With the Fans in Motion page, and if you don't know, Facebook Fans in Motion Night Ranger, just type those in. You'll find our Facebook page that we're talking about. I don't know if we talked about this in the last episode, but when you close, I think it was still up for votes, and we thought we knew who would win. But When You Close Your Eyes won the March Midnight Madness tournament. We did every Night Ranger song except for 2. 128 songs, and When You Close Your Eyes was the winner over Don't Tell Me You Love Me. So there we go.
And it's good that I opened the show with When You Close Your Eyes.
There you go. That's the reason why you did it.
Yeah, I didn't even know it.
Yeah. So there you are. Thanks to everybody on the Facebook page, posting everything. It's busy. It's going. We're close to 4,000 members. So good times. Brent, you got anything before we hit Sentimental Street?
I have nothing, so I'd love to very much take a ride with you down on Sentimental Street.
Yes.
But just keep your hands to yourself.
In the avenues.
Keep your hands on your vinyl.
So Sentimental Street, top 10 hit. I don't have the exact date, but
I'll look that up while you're talking.
if I remember correctly, Sentimental Street was the first single.
It was.
From the,
I remember like it was yesterday. I was driving home from Chick-fil-A. That's where I worked when I was 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a Saturday. And it was like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And it came on as I was pulling into my driveway. And I had to sit in my driveway and listen to it for the first time. And my mom's like, well, you get in here, we got to go. I'm like, Night Ranger.
What did you think?
I was happy. It was Night Ranger,
Yeah. It's kind of unique. It didn't follow the typical formula where they would release a hard rock song first and then a ballad. Not that there was really a hard rock single on that record.
Right.
But that's the thing that where people talk about Night Ranger being a one-hit wonder, and it's like, you can throw out "Don't Tell Me You Love Me," and when you close your eyes, and it's like you still got this. This was a top 10 hit, and it's a good way to open an album, a new release. So when you collect the 45s, you're going to have the first copies that were out there are your promotional copies. The promo copies do come with the sleeve. There is really no difference in the sleeve, but there is differences in the label. So when you have a promo copy, you're going to have this white label. So there is promotional copy. You'll see that right there. I'll have pictures and everything.
Yeah.
Now, the good thing is you have two different promos out there. And it deals with the Camel Records logo. So when I say the Camel Records logo, this was their record labels. MCA, but Camel was...
Yeah, that was a subsidiary.
Yep. So there is the logo. And if you look, you can see you have the star, and then you have the record code, and then the logo. If you look here... I'll just make it easy. You have the logo below the star. Here is a promo copy, and if you look, that Camel logo is above the star. So one's pressed at one record plant, this one's pressed at the other, and just a small difference in the labeling. Everything else is really the same. It's just the location of that. Of that Camel logo. So you have the white promos that are out there. And then you would have your standard stock copy. So you would go to the store and you would have the same dust jacket or the same jacket there, sleeve for the record. Thing is, you have the same thing as the promos. So you have that Camel logo. You can kind of see it there on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And this one has the little jukebox strip.
Well, that's cool.
The B-side being Night Machine. So you have it there on the bottom left. But then you also have stock copies out there with it on the top left. So if you see that,
again, another plant.
Yep, it's just the Camel Management logo is above where it says side A, and these are below. So
and I'm guessing the star is only for the white label promo.
Yeah, there's no stars on these. So everything else is the same. It's just that the Camel Management logo is in different spots.
Now, did you check the matrix and the dead wax on the promos versus the store copies?
No.
To see if it was the same?
No, because the more I do that, the deeper I go, and I'm just never going to get... I got to stop.
And dead wax, for you people who haven't watched the other episodes, is the end of the record or there's nothing there, and you'll see some numbers and letters scribed into the vinyl. That's called the dead wax, the runoff.
Logo top left. All right, so then you get some copies out there that I think were sold without a cover. Now the cover, it could have been sold with, a cover and it's gotten lost. But if you look at all these examples I've shown you, if you look at the top of the record, you have where it says Sentimental Street and Night Range, Sentimental Street and the songwriters and everything, and the band name is at the bottom. Well, there's also copies out there where there's nothing at the top and everything is at the bottom. So the song title and the band name's at the bottom, and there's nothing at the top. So there's another variant of the single.
These are all in America so far, right?
These are all American standard versions. So the only thing I don't know is there a copy like that with nothing at top and that management logo is above, instead of being on the bottom? Sure. I haven't come across one yet. Not that I go out really searching, but sometimes, I'll buy a lot of records and just, something like that will come up. So you can see right there you have, 3 different U.S. stock copies, 2 different promos. So that's 5 different copies of Sentimental Street that you could have. So just to show you how big Night Ranger is at this point, this single is being pressed all around the world. Most of the covers are the same. You do get, some are where this is a little bit kind of like, no, that's not a good example. It's more kind of like an off-white, more like a cream color.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at some of these overseas versions, they're more white. It's not the easiest to tell, but it's a little bit of a brighter cover. Everything mostly is the same on the sleeve, except England. You have, the smaller.
Yeah.
You don't need the spindle for it. So this is England. So England's
same B-side.
Everything's same B-side, just different type of 45 there. And this really gets to show you how big they've become. Is now this I would assume is not the original sleeve for it, but Sentimental Street is printed in South Africa. So this is I can't remember if Sister Christian is or not, but you have this pressed in South Africa. Trying to see if it actually says South Africa.
Yeah, I didn't see it anywhere yet.
You can how you tell is by that matrix number there is how it comes up as South Africa. But unfortunately, it does not actually say South Africa on here. But that's where it's from. It's different. It's not. It's a little bit thinner than the one from England. You can tell a difference here, but this is printed in South Africa. So there are people in South Africa going, hey man, I need Sentimental Street, and they're going to their local store in South Africa and getting Sentimental Street. And the people up north in Zimbabwe, guess what? They're able to go get Sentimental Street as well. So now this did come with a little jukebox strip, different than I've ever seen. So obviously they did have some jukeboxes in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I see it has a stamp on it. Is that because of the record store that it came from? Or
this says sample record, not for resale.
Okay.
But you can see
Yeah, and it's also white label.
And it does have the star is a sticker.
Yeah, I can
So
tell.
yeah, it's been added, but it's got the stamp where it
Well,
says
that tells them what side. Does it say side A or B? I bet you that tells them what side to play. That sticker. Is it on the other side?
it's not, but it does have
Yeah.
side 1 and side 2.
Okay, but I bet that's
Does
what that sticker is on there for.
does have a stamp property of jukebox music, so I don't know
Okay.
what that is. But this is your 45 from Zimbabwe.
Now, when you were talking about the picture sleeves versus plain sleeves,
Mm-hmm.
back when I was a kid and I worked at a record store, sometimes the initial release wouldn't be a picture sleeve. And if it became a hit, then CBS or whoever might then release it with a picture sleeve because it's easier to find on the shelf. Other times, when stuff started with a picture sleeve and then came in with a generic sleeve, was probably because the song was still hidden, and they were done pressing the sleeves and they just said screw it.
Yeah. Yeah, so this may have started out without a sleeve maybe, and then it becoming a hit, they eventually...
Well, Sentimental Street started out with the sleeve.
Sleeve? Okay.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it's
because,
just hard.
They were still flying on all cylinders at that point.
It's just hard to tell, like, the ones that I don't have sleeves for that are unique, if those just never came without, did the sleeves get lost? I've never seen one without the information at the top with a sleeve. Now, it's easy to do. I could take that and put it on eBay with a sleeve, but I've never seen one for sale. The only ones I've ever seen have been without sleeves. It's just been the 45, so it just leads me to think that those were sold without sleeves.
And a lot of times, if it wasn't a band I cared too much about, but I liked them, I mean, I remember kids tacking them to their wall, so they had a picture of that band on their wall.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and
I would have never done that. I was too anal.
And a lot of times you can find these in lots because what happened was, back then your jukeboxes were all 45s.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not uncommon to find a lot of 10 Sentimental Streets, 4 in the mornings, because someone owned jukeboxes. When they switched to CDs, they put all these 45s in boxes. They're probably sitting somewhere. Someone passes away, and then they start selling the what's been left over. So you have a couple releases in Africa. You have the England release, and you also have an Australian release. Now the Australian releases are always, they're very similar to the England releases, but this does say does it say Australia on here? It does not, but I think the WEA music is Australia and not England. Where like the England one says on here for the UK.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't say anything about it being specific for Australia, but WEA Records.
Well, that's Warner Electra Asylum. WEA.
That is Australia, and you are right. There's the Warner Brothers logo on there, so it's very similar to the England release, but it doesn't say anything about UK, and it does have that WEA logo or a title on there. So again, being released all around the world, like you said, Night Ranger is firing on all cylinders. The Japanese release is usually totally different than the rest of the world, but Sentimental Street uses almost the same photo. Now they got the
they got that paper slip.
And then on the back, it's got the lyrics and another photo.
I wonder why they do the paper slip. And they still do the paper slip.
I don't know. That's a good question. Now, this is a promo. How you can tell your promos from this era is where you see where it says A side there. See that block of Japanese writing? Mm-hmm. That is basically the promo stamp, or as they say over there, sample stamp. So if you look at this one here, it's almost exactly the same, but this is the stock copy. So you can see above there, that block of Japanese writing is not there like this one does.
Yeah.
So really that is how most of the 45s are done. You're not always going to have the South Africa, but you are going to have the promo versions in the U.S. You're going to have the stock copies in the U.S. and usually a different variation with a logo or the record title being on the song title being on the top or the bottom. You will usually have a England version. You sometimes will have a German version. There is no German version for this. And you usually don't have the Africa, copies. But you do usually get the Japanese with the promo and the stock copies. So if you're collecting any of the singles, that's generally the recipe of how it goes. Except for the first album. The first album, All Boardwalk, there's no U.S. Cover sleeves. It's just all
boardwalk.
Sleeves. Except for Europe and Japan, they did put picture sleeves out there. So that's the walk through Sentimental Street.
Oh, you don't have any Canada?
I don't know if they did a Canada release. I don't have one. They may have. I do have Canadian releases. If you want, we can venture into another 45 record. We're only at 36 minutes, my friend.
People won't know what to do if we ended this early.
I know.
I wouldn't know what to do.
Well, just throw out a single and we'll go grab it and just bullshit about it.
Well, why don't you do Sister Christian like you were saying?
Well, I want to save that for maybe if we do Kelly Kagi.
How about Color of Your Smile?
Color of Your Smile has you some unique stuff. So watch this magic. And here is the change of plans that we interrupted ourselves earlier in the podcast to tell you. So we're doing...
You know what's coincidental about it?
What is
it came without a warning.
It did. At like 7:53.
Yeah.
And so we just did Sentimental Street, which was the first single from the Seven Wishes record.
I trust you'll agree.
And 4 in the Morning, the second single. What do you remember about 4 in the Morning?
4 in the Morning, I remember that was an exclusive video on MTV, and we were looking so forward to it because at that point the album had already been out, and it was one of my favorite tracks off the album. And we got to see the little girls, coming from outer space, dressing like they weren't even in space. But it is like When You Close Your Eyes. It is a perfect song.
Yeah,
perfect song.
It's not that I dislike it. It's every fan has got the one song that's of all the big tracks is not their favorite. This was probably mine. It's like either be a ballad or be a rocker, except for When You Close Your Eyes. That kind of fits it, like you said, in that mold.
Yeah.
But it just never got rocking for me, and then it wasn't quite the ballad. So it was just a song that I never really gravitated to. Still a great song. Big hit for the band.
I remember, again, back at Chick-fil-A, another Chick-fil-A story with Seven Wishes. I had just gotten my Night Ranger tickets for Riverbend, and down at Sears. And oh no, pardon, I wasn't Sears. That was when Andy and I camped out. Forgive me. I apologize. I didn't mean to lie.
Forgiven.
And the show was getting near. It was like that week of, and I was working at Chick-fil-A, and somebody said, "Hey, you getting excited for the show?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I can't wait." And somebody, and this older lady said, "Who are you gonna go see?" I go, "Night Ranger." She goes, "Oh, that 4 a.m. song. I think it's so cute. I'll never forget that," because I thought it almost ruined it for me. Yeah. It almost did.
Well, Night Ranger at this time is describing their music, because there was a little bit of backlash even at that time if you go back and read the print. And they defend themselves as saying they are stainless steel rock. And
which is good.
I mean, it's fine. You know, we're doing a podcast on them, so obviously we enjoy it.
Buy into it.
But there is a difference in the Seven Wishes album as compared to Dawn Patrol and Midnight Madness. But the reason why Night Ranger is playing the places they're playing in 2021, whatever fucking year it is because of the Seven Wishes record. If the Seven Wishes had never taken off, Night Ranger would be more considered that one-hit wonder, and you would be playing smaller venues. But Seven Wishes, Sister Christian took them to the top, and Seven Wishes is what made them stay at the top for a good amount of time, to where they could just get more and more fans. I mean, they ruled MTV for a good 2.5 to 3 years.
They ruled both AR radio and Top 40.
So Seven Wishes,
they were good crossover.
The reason why Night Ranger is where they are at today, because they had 3 top 20 hits off of this record, one of them being a top 10 hit. So the same kind of applies with Sentimental Street. You're going to have, you got the picture sleeve now. It's not much different than the regular album cover. It's them in the airplane. The back picture is a colorized kind of version of what's in the
kind of the sepia.
Yep. So you have that, and then you have the promo copies, the white label promo copies with the stars. You have, again, you see the star, you got the camel logo there above it, and then you get a promo copy.
I just saw that said "I can't take any more" under it,
with the star, with the logo below it. Yeah, so on the
4 a.m. I can't take any more.
There.
I don't remember that saying that like that, but
says it on the back as well.
Yeah.
So again, you have your 2. You got white label promo copies, and you got the 2 variations of them. So again, this is not Epic Records. This is just a random sleeve, but you have the stock copies, and this has that camel logo.
Yeah, there he is. I see it.
Right there at the top.
Yep, 10 o'clock.
All right. And then you again have a stock copy. This has a sleeve. I don't know if that one came with a sleeve or not, but you can see the camel logo is now on the bottom. So again, boom, boom, stock copies, but the camel logo is in different places. This 45 does tell a story of the vinyl records, because on the MCA release of Dawn Patrol and the MCA release of Midnight Madness, you have that rainbow label. All right, it's what I call the rainbow label. Seven Wishes is released on the rainbow label as well, but then eventually it gets the screaming camel label, which is what we call this. All right. Well, when that changed, I was never really able to find the date. I just knew it was between 85 and 87 because all the Big Life records are the Screaming Camel. But you can kind of do it with the 4 in the Morning single because it's originally released on this. But then they start printing it with the Screaming Camel logo or label. So my boy is doing good. So it's early 86 probably when they switch to this. So if you're collecting the Seven Wishes record, there's the 2 variations, and you're able to kind of tell if you have the Rainbow label. That was one of the first pressings in 85, and then after that 86. And it also tells us that they repressed Dawn Patrol vinyl sometime after early 86 because you can find Dawn Patrol vinyl with that Screaming Camel label, but you can't find any Midnight Madness. So they never did repress.
I think it also tells you how popular that song was to keep it in print.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how soon or how late, they started changing that, but I'm pretty sure when you get to Goodbye, the 3rd single, there's no Rainbow labels. So 4 in the Morning is where you see the change at.
Back then we had a record store here in Cincinnati called Record Theater. And Record Theater, I know, was in Pittsburgh. It was a chain, but it wasn't huge. But it was a huge record store, and they had a section just for older singles because record companies still kept older singles in print. Now they would go back, like for the Kiss ones, for example, you would see, I Was Made for Loving You teamed up with a song from another album, something like that. But like I said, for the time, MCA keeping that in to 1986. That's pretty big.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to go back and look at the dates, but I think.
Yeah, I know you're right. I think you're right. I remember the switch
around,
over on it.
Right around there. So you can see that there's, for the U.S., you have the different promos. You have the different stock copies with the Rainbow label, and you have the stock copy with the Screaming Camel label. Then you start getting, again, this is a big record, so you do have some overseas stuff. Or, I don't have anything Europe or Africa, kind of like I did with Sentimental Street. Not that I don't know if they exist or not, but I don't have them. I don't know if there's anything Africa-wise. Pretty much Sentimental Street, Sister Christian. But they did print it in Canada. Pretty much everything is the same.
Does it also say I can't take any more underneath of it?
It does. It does say it on the front and the back. Everything's the same on the sleeve, except it does say printed in Canada.
Yep.
And the 45 does say Canada as well. So you do have a Canadian release. It's hard to find these just because it doesn't screen Canada on it. You got to look and see the small print because everything else is exactly the same. Now, the cool thing about 4 in the Morning is the Japanese release. Again, kind of what I've always said about collecting 45s is the artwork's all different. Well, it's not a good example of Seven Wishes because a lot of this artwork we see somewhere on the record. But this is very unique. Here is the Japanese 45 release.
Yeah, what is that sitting on the beach? Is that a person?
Let me take it out.
I remember you've showed this before.
Yes. So it does say 4 in the Morning. I can't take any more. But it is the band on the beach with the crashed plane behind them. So there's the sun, there's the birds flying, there's the band looking out at the water, and then there is the crashed plane. So it's a painting of them marooned, like in the video. I just wonder where that original painting is.
Yeah.
But that's the only place you'll ever see that, is on this 45. There is a picture on the back you don't see often.
Yeah,
it's just
that's a great outtake.
Just different pose, but it does have the lyrics and everything on it. This is a promo copy, and how you tell the promos of this era. Now this is still the same. Again, you see the block of Japanese writing there above the side A, so that's how you know that's a promo or a sample. The B-side for this is This Boy Needs to Rock. So those are your 4 in the mornings. Not as wide range as Sentimental Street, but you're still printing in Japan. You still got a European release and a Canadian release.
And it may tell us something about how Sentimental Street did in Africa if there's no release for 4 in the morning. It might not have went over very well there.
Well,
maybe.
I would say, though, to me, they are not printing it in Africa to see if it does well. To me, it's doing well, and then that's why they print it.
Okay.
I don't, because if that's the case, they would probably print promo copies for more and see if they do. I think for you to get some of these, they've got to already be hits, kind of like Sister Christian. So there is your 4 in the morning, 45s. And the third single was Goodbye. Do you remember anything about seeing Goodbye for the first time?
Yeah, I remember it also being an exclusive video. I remember all the scenes in the video. Who did we have? I don't remember who was on the page. They had the ship, and they knew which. Yeah.
Oh shoot, Richard Jenkins maybe?
Yeah, it might have been, and which is very cool. And I remember it being a big hit. It wasn't crossover to album orientated rock. They didn't really play it like Top 40 did, but it was cool. It was just, but at that point, I was like, I'm like, oh man, another ballad. At this point, I'm wanting 7 Wishes or This Boy Needs a Rock to be a single, and I also wanted 4 more singles because I wanted 7 Wishes, as videos. And this didn't coordinate with the last video, so.
What I remember now, again, I'm 8 years old when this record comes out. Well, I'm not even 8 when it comes out, but I turned 8 the summer of '85, and I obviously don't have my own money, and my aunt, who would have been 17 or so at the time, she made me a blank, taped it on a blank tape for me when it came out, and she cut off Goodbye right before it starts rocking. I think she was just, doing it real quick, thought the song ended. And so for a couple years, I always thought that was the end of the song. And then, probably, somewhere 10, 11 years old, I was able to get my own copy of the record. And I remember listening to it and hearing that, and it was just like, what? Like kind of startled me. And it was like hearing a new song again. And so that's just my little story about Goodbye.
Yeah, and when you're that age, you're like, why did they change it?
Yeah. Well,
did they go back and change it?
I knew pretty quick that, okay, I see what happened. She thought the song ended. With Goodbye, again, you have it becomes repetitive. You got the white label promo. You can see the camel logo there above the star. And then you have, this is a little bit different. You have the camel logo on the opposite side, and it's smaller. So a little bit different, but it's on the other side.
I see that says long version on it too.
Yeah, both of them both of them have a short and long version on there.
On the promo copies?
Yes, so there's a long version and a short version. This is another promo copy that I originally had. I eventually got one that wasn't written on, but I sometimes like these ones that are kind of written on from a radio station. So you can see at one time they've got numbers on it and a sticker. You can see they wrote 22 seconds, 1185, 420, slow fade. Let me see right there.
Yeah.
So they're, you see where they highlight the intro time.
Mm-hmm.
So some radio station or something, this was actually used. So I like getting those, and I mean, if they're cheap, just because, at one time this is what was being played on the airwaves.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to stock copies, there's no rainbow labels. At this time, they're all the Screaming Camel. There is a jukebox slip. Goodbye with the B-side is 7 Wishes. This is a little bit different with if you look at the top where it says goodbye and then it has a songwriting credits, underneath there is a thin line and it says from the MCA Camel LP, MCA 5593, 7 Wishes. All right?
Yeah.
So you have that version where it says basically from 7 Wishes on top. And then if you look at this other version, you can see at the top it just says goodbye and the songwriters. There's nothing else there. All of that information's on the bottom. So From 7 Wishes album is on the bottom. Mm-hmm. So again, both Screaming Camel labels, but from what album is on either the top or the bottom.
Yeah, like we said, which denotes a different pressing plant.
Yep.
More than likely.
Now, those I got without picture sleeves. So I don't know if they came with picture sleeves at one time or not. But the picture sleeve is this. It's hard to find a good one of these because they show all the blemishes. But I like the just the simple black and the goodbye. And then the back is just the standard 7 Wishes photo there. But there is the picture sleeve. That is, I think there's 2 more picture sleeves from the U.S. after this. Secret of My Success and I Did It for Love. Both of these have From 7 Wishes on the bottom. So I have 2 copies and both have the 7 Wishes on the bottom. So you're going to have Screaming Camel logos. One, it says From 7 Wishes on top. The other says From 7 Wishes on the bottom. And then we get to Japan. We always love the Japanese releases. And this one shows them looking their best from 1985. Look at that.
It's called Sayonara.
So you don't. What's weird is, I guess at this time, is you don't have the seven. The aviator look going with this. What is unique about this is there is a photo here that I've never seen any other outtake from. It almost may be from a video still. I don't know. It's a little bit blurry, but look at this photo there. There's Kelly.
Oh, you mean if they were doing an interview or something like that?
Yeah, I've never seen a photo shoot. I mean, you can see there's.
Yeah.
It's a weird little. It looks like it's probably right before 7 Wishes, maybe a little bit post Midnight Madness, but I've never seen another photo from this. So if you got anybody out there knows where's that from?
What's Kelly wearing?
Kelly's wearing just. It
That's
looks
a shirt. Okay, it looks like it's this painter's suit. Look, you can see the colors in there.
You can, but look, there's no triangles and stuff.
Yeah, you could see them. If you look closely, they're faint.
Okay, I guess you're right.
See it? But it looks like it's a shirt. I thought that was a whole jumpsuit.
Well, I think he's got a shirt on underneath this, whereas this one, he's just bare-chested.
No, I'm talking about the whole outfit. I thought the whole outfit was a jumpsuit. And evidently it's two pieces.
Well, there you go. Take a gander.
Yeah, he's got it tucked in.
But none of the other guys are wearing what is on this here. Like I said, it's not very, so there you go. That's, like I said, one cool thing about the Japanese stuff is you get different stuff than you would see anywhere else. Yeah. Again, you have a promo version. There's that block of Japanese writing. And then you have just the regular, then their stock copy without that block of writing. Everything else is the same.
When we get Kelly back on, I'm definitely going to ask him where that clothing is.
Yep, that's already on my list, man. I was going to track that stuff down. Like,
holy shit.
There is some 12-inch singles. Here is Sentimental Street. You have a long version and a short version. This is from the UK.
Yep, I knew it was when I saw the cover. You're back there.
And then you have, what is this? This is Sentimental Street as well.
That's the American promo?
Yep, that's the American promo, white label. That's Sentimental Street. Then we have the UK. That's another UK version of Sentimental Street. All right, so Goodbye. All right, so there are two versions of Goodbye, right? Wrong? No. I lied. All right, so Goodbye. No, there may be two versions, hell, but it is a little bit different. That camel label is smaller than the other Sentimental Street, but there is your 12-inch single for Goodbye. And for a bonus track, not quite Seven Wishes, not quite Big Life, but only released on the 12-inch single. The Wild and Innocent Youth.
Yep.
From the Out of Bounds soundtrack. So there is a promotional single out there for that. With the cool hype sticker. Most of them don't have a hype sticker, the 12-inch singles, but this one does.
It would be cool if they released a compilation of their single edits along with these unreleased tracks. Finally. Mm-hmm. It would be cool.
Well, that's Universal, not. I would assume Universal still owns all the. Now I don't know about the Wild and Innocent Youth, because that was a Columbia Pictures film, and then it was on IRS Records, maybe.
But that one's at MCA. Did you notice
that? Well, yeah, but it does. But if you look here,
yeah, it's going to say the other label as well.
It says from IRS Records.
Yeah.
So I just don't know who legally owns that, but there you go. We have done the 45s from Seven Wishes. So if you thought you were done collecting because you had 145, well, now you got to dig deeper and spend that money. Dave Nadelman and a few others. James Gillen was another guy that likes to collect all the vinyl. So there you go. That's Night Ranger at its height, and it's just fun to see how big they were around the world in 1985, 1986.
And they were big.
Yep.
They were big.
So, what do you think? You want to go out and start buying all your Night Ranger 45s now?
Me personally, no, but I know I'm going to probably try to get every album sealed after I had seen Amy Pereira's post with the Big Life that they're going to cut up, and oh God, that drives me crazy because now the challenge is the greatest hits is hard to find, a Man in Motion, non-promo is hard to find, and to find those sealed would be kind of the holy grail at that point, wouldn't it?
Well, the thing is, if you find them sealed, especially greatest hits, I have to look at greatest hits good, but Man in Motion sealed, everyone that's sealed should have a hype sticker.
Yeah.
It's just when you get to
should.
Problem is, you start dealing with reseals, and it's harder to tell on the Midnight Madnesses, and because sometimes they didn't. A lot of times you will find the sealed records that are being sold online are a lot of times they're CRCs. Someone got them, the 12 for 1 and never opened them, and 30 years later they're selling them.
That's fine too.
But a lot of times your sealed records are going to be, I always kind of see, are the CRCs, or if it's Big Life, the RCA records, which don't have hype stickers on them. But
yeah.
Hopefully you guys all enjoyed the journey through time, Night Ranger, 7 Wishes singles.
I was going to give you a current story about hype stickers.
Give me a current story.
A couple weeks ago, my wife and I were out for furniture shopping. Go over to Northern Kentucky, and there's this really nice record store. They got carpet in there. You could get coffee. They even have a bathroom you can use. They have little playstations, not the game, but stations you can hear the music. And she comes walking over, and she's holding up a copy of 7 Wishes. Do you need this? I'm like, now that's a promo copy. Well, how do you know? I said, well, turn it over. It'll have a stamp say promo copy. But how do you know? I'm like, because they put the hype sticker on the cover.
Yep. Yeah.
But she was amazed that I knew it was promo from 10 feet away,
For those that don't know, promo copies would arrive to the radio stations. They weren't sealed. Promo copies were never sealed. So the hype sticker, which the hype sticker is the sticker on the kind of like the little advertisement they would slap on the plastic saying, hey, this album contains all these hits. Well, since the promos aren't sealed, they would take that hype sticker and just apply it straight to the album. So if you're flipping through a record bin and you see a hype sticker on a record that's actually doesn't have the plastic still on it, then there's a good chance that is a promo copy. Now, some people would peel off the hype sticker and throw it on the record, very rarely, but it can happen. But majority of the time, those are promo copies.
And the 7 Wishes, when it came out, not all of them had the hype sticker on them, because I used to get mad because I liked the little balloon or cloud that they did. Yeah,
book blurb that.
And I thought, that's stupid. Why doesn't this have this?
Yep. But yeah, there you go. Night Ranger, 7 Wishes, 45s. We got a good year coming up for Night Ranger, new album, tour. It's all good, man. So hopefully everybody liked the little journey down the rabbit hole there. Brent, you led us into the episode. You want to take us out?
Josh, if you were handed 7 wishes, would one of those wishes for me to do another opening to another episode? I know it would be.
No.
It's heart aching. It's heartbreaking.
My wish would center around you and goodbye.
Hey, fuck you. It wasn't bad. It didn't come off bad. I channeled Andy, and I was like, "Say hi, Josh."
Well, it's Andy is.
But you gotta get your voice a little bit higher, like this.
Lyric. Say hello, Josh.
And what you don't know is, okay, what episode are we doing? What was last week's episode? Okay, we have new stuff. We have same thing every week, Andy. I know. I don't have my notes in front of me. And then we get ready to start. He's like, "Oh, I did this song last week. I gotta come up with a new song. What's this episode about?"
You guys miss all the good stuff that I
great.
get to go through. All right, everyone. We will see you next week. Later.
Goodbye.